가르쳐줄 것도 없고 줄 것도 없어. 대신 네 옆에 있을게. 지켜줄게.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another Korean film review. I just got back from seeing one of the latest Korean films called Miss Baek. Now, Miss Baek is advertised as a drama film. Don't be fooled by the poster. I know it kind of looks like, a revenge film similar to A Special Lady. That was the name. It does kind of have that vibe with the poster, a little bit of blood, possibly a little revenge for the girl. It's really not that. This is a very human drama story based on a true story, not very far-fetched at all, so very believable. This one stars Han Ji-min as Baek Sang-a, or she likes to be called Miss Baek. Now, she's had quite a few brush-ups with the law, very troubled past. We get some glimpses of her early childhood. It's pretty horrifying. You'll find out when you do watch the movie, but she's got a record, and she has a relationship with a detective played by Lee Hee-jun, who their relationship was formed, I believe, with after her first, major incident with the law. It was a pretty violent one, and he helped her out a lot. But they kind of start this relationship. We do see this a little bit in some flashbacks. So that's one side of this movie, their relationship. Now, she gets some glimpses of this child on the streets, played by, I believe she's a newcomer, very young actress named Kim Shia, and the child's name in the movie is Jiyoon, very common name. So just this child in the streets, she looks like, homeless by any standards that I know. She's got bruises all over her. One of her fingers is practically destroyed. So, not too many people seem concerned for whatever reason. Maybe that's one of the sort of messages in this movie, but our main character, Miss Baek, does take notice of this girl and kind of reminds her a little bit of her early days. So she, takes her to a little street bar and gets her some food and some water, and then kind of tells her to hurry on home. So, she's not really showing a lot of interest in protecting this girl, but just a little bit, to show, don't talk to me, don't, just take some food, I feel for you a little bit, and go home. Not the last time she sees her, again, on the street, another day. Maybe the concerned level starts ramping up a little bit. Whoa, you're wearing the same dirty rags. More bruises on your face, on your body, perhaps. The parents are... Well, there really is only the dad and the dad's girlfriend. These are the worst human beings. Well, one of the worst human beings you'll ever see. Ooh, okay, so it's pretty hard to watch. Her dad is super addicted to computer games. That's all he does, a day in, 24 hours a day. When he does have some time to go to the bathroom or beat on his daughter. He totally hates her, didn't want her. His girlfriend also thinks she's the daughter. Jiyoon is super annoying, beats her every chance she gets. Don't look at me. This little girl gets so much abuse. It's kind of hard to watch. So Miss Baek, she feels kind of sorry for this girl, takes her out on a little kind of a play afternoon, evening, buys her some new clothes, takes her back home, and figures out how horrible this little girl's parents are. She's not gonna let this stand. She's gonna do something about it. That's the movie. Don't want to give too many things away after that because the plot is not that complicated, and you should have at least some surprises on where this story is going. Okay, so just overall thoughts on this movie. This movie is clearly trying to make some kind of a statement about Korean services for children who obviously are not being taken care of properly by their parents. There's a lot of scenes in this movie that will make I'm guessing maybe American audiences or people who are familiar with a system in place that if you see an abused child, there are steps you can take to help that child out and kind of get them out of their situation where apparently, I'm not totally sure because I don't know all the facts on this, but it seems like this movie is saying that Korea does not have a lot of those services, and sometimes, no matter how bad the situation is, parents can kind of get the final word, as long as they're showing that the child is apparently still alive. That seems like enough that they can kind of go back home with them. It's pretty crazy and it's kind of hard to watch. There is one scene where Miss Baek does actually go to the police station because she's making kind of a complaint about how horrible these guardians of this girl are, and because of her criminal record, the police just kind of shake their heads and say, yeah, there's really nothing we can do. These are her guardians, and the child is clearly got bruises all over. There's blood. Has no change of dirty clothes. She gets to go back home with her parents. So it's very frustrating in that sense. But I think this movie does want us to be frustrated, and it's kind of a call to action. So that is clearly the main point of this movie. Now, how enjoyable is this movie? Well, I don't think this movie is trying to be very enjoyable. The acting is pretty good. Now, Han Ji-min, I haven't seen her in anything before. She is pretty famous. She's in a lot of TV commercials, but I don't really know to what extent her acting career has gone to. But this is the first time I've seen her, and it was a really good performance. Now, her character, you do care for the fact that she does seem like one of the few people in this movie that want this child to be protected. But that just, for me, was not that much to really, it's like I care for the child because you just see this child getting abused beyond belief, but the character, Miss Baek herself, is not very memorable for me. Just because she's very, she's uptight and she's kind of always angry, got a chip on her shoulder, understandably, but again, a character that's very hard to relate to. And she always seems to need the help of her sort of quasi-boyfriend, detective, who she's known for a long time. He seems like she's getting her out of all these jams. Like, she can't solve anything really herself very easily. So the fact that he was always just kind of there, again, did kind of hurt the strengths that this character could have showed. And the overall arc of Miss Baek is pretty circular. She kind of comes back to where she started. The child actor in this movie does a really good job. When she is kind of cleaned up, she's very cute. When she's got all the, the dirty makeup and the blood and the bruises, she looks like, someone that you really feel sorry for and you do want to help her out. So I think she was cast really well. The main problem I have with this movie is a lot of the aspects of this movie that really want you to, want to tug at your heart do feel very contrived for me. I did not like the choice of music and the way that it was shot. So, okay, we're going to show the shot, the close-up of the hand holding between Miss Baek and the girl, and we get the cellos coming in and the piano. You got to do more than just change the music for me and have a close-up of a hand shot. And I'm going to say this movie does want us to feel frustrated, yes. But I felt frustrated based on kind of some of the stupidity that these characters show. There's several scenes, I don't want to give anything away, where they have a great opportunity to protect this girl and no one does their job and things go bad. So you're like, can someone do one thing right? Some of these characters, their heart's in the right place, but you just like, oh, what are they doing? Not again? So yeah, I was frustrated a lot in this movie. I think the most redeeming aspects of this movie are its societal messages and the acting. This is not a movie that I necessarily would want to revisit. It's a movie that I'm glad I've seen because it is fairly enlightening on a pretty sad situation. One of the characters does make a point that there are more norebangs, or these singing rooms, in Korea than places that children can go if they, need protection. So, they're making some pretty bold statements, and hopefully, some people get their eyes opened and try to start to make this a better situation for everybody. Alright, so Miss Baek was not the most entertaining watch for me. I do think it was pretty eye-opening in a lot of ways, and I did like some of the performances, but the story was, even though it was based on a true story and all that, it did feel like a lot of the emotions and some of the ways that the scenes were constructed were very contrived for me, so can't give it a very high recommendation, but it is quite good. So I'll give this movie a 6.5 out of 10 based on the performances and the message that it's trying to give, but there isn't a lot of rewatchability for Miss Baek. Alright, so we'll leave it at that for this one. If you did like this video, I would appreciate if you click the like button. It does let me know that you want to see more videos like this and you do enjoy this content. If you do want to stay up to date with all of our channel's latest videos that include Korean movie reviews of new release and hopefully get some older classics in there, film discussion, analysis videos, and English subtitled Korean movie trailers when we can, go ahead and click subscribe, and you'll get, you can turn on that notification button. You can get notified of every time that we post. Until next time, this is Tyler from The Movie Beat. Keep watching movies.